chair with a back. Oh, this is beautiful.
Our road was uniformly the same thing every day, passing across wide, dreary wastes covered only with sage and greenwood.
The same thing over and over again.
The Platte had become familiar to us, having come along its banks and within sight of it for 500 miles.
Near noon, we made our last camp on the Platte, and here bid a long adieu.
If you'd been here 150 years ago, on this very hill, looking down on the wide, muddy North Platte River, with Deer Creek to the east and the Red Buttes to the west, you could have watched the pioneers pass with their wagons and animals. In what was to become the largest unforced migration in the history of the world, people from all walks of life set out on differing trails west, to Oregon for land, to the Great Salt Lake for religious freedom, or to California to strike it rich. But whatever their final destination, their paths converged here, in what is now known as Casper, for the final crossing of the North Platte River. And while the thousands that walked and rode the Western trails were bound by their own destiny, they all endured the common experience of the journey itself. The promise of better land was often overshadowed by the hardships, monotony, and death along the trail. The paths the pioneers followed were not new. For thousands of years, Indians had worn trails alongside the Platte and through the mountains for trade and subsistence.
We get grizzly teeth from the Crows. We do a lot of trading with the Utes that come up from the south. That brings us to the area of the Platte. And hunting the buffalo brought us to this area. Buffalo north, buffalo south. And it made us move a lot. Wherever it went, that is where the people went.
I, of course, expected to find beaver, which with us hunters is a primary object, but I was also led on by the love of novelty, common to all, which is much increased by pursuit of its gratification.
It was hunting and trapping that brought the earliest pioneers to the Western territories. Soon more would follow, looking for souls to convert and a safe passage to the Pacific.
This is a good cause, worth living for. Wherever we go, we find opportunities of doing good. If we had packed one or two animals with Bibles and Testaments, we should have had an abundant opportunity of disposing of them to the trappers and traders of the mountains.
In 1843, a trickle of immigrants began to follow these paths, and as they crossed into what is now Wyoming, miles and miles of sameness greeted them. This monotony was true for their journey as well. Moments of joy and excitement would provide a welcome relief from the boredom and hardships they constantly endured.
Day after day, week after week, we went through the same weary routine of breaking camp at daybreak, yoking the oxen, cooking our meager rations over a fire of sage
When we got
bushes.
there, it was 15 miles to grass and water.
We then began to descend, passed down the canyon.
The same thing over and over again.
The wind changed 16 times, blowing hard. Fourth week we have been on the road.
It was after dark before we got to the camping place where Uncle Sam had a campfire built.
Many musicians belonging to the different encampments surrounding us. And after supper, all commenced to practice the sweet tunes that were to enliven us while sitting around the campfire on a far-off plain.
A wedding in camp this night, and a very tall spree. We put the married couple to bed in a wagon, and then hauled the wagon over the prairie through the brush. We call this rocking them to sleep.
I, Patty Session, delivered Silvira, wife of Samuel Turnbow, of a daughter named Margaret Ann, born June 25, 9 o'clock p.m.
I carried a little motherless baby 500 miles. And when we camped, I would go from camp to camp in search of some good, kind, motherly woman to let it nurse. And no one ever refused.
There are very black clouds in the west, and thunder and lightning in their midst. The storm burst upon me in the most terrific form. The hail fell in perfect showers, pelting me unmercifully.
8 oxen killed by lightning.
Teams fell by the wayside. Provisions gave out. There was much suffering. Fathers and mothers died, left their little children to the mercy of strangers.
Counted as many as 500 graves along the North Platte.
Tomorrow we would lay her away, deep in the earth where wolves could not get her. Robed in snowy white, the lovely wild flowers of the prairie that she loved so well, nestling around her. I wondered if her spirit still hovered near, and see our grief, and know our loneliness.
Left Camp 5. Reached the Platte at noon. Prepared to cross the stream. 10 feet to 15 feet deep. Rapid. 6 or 8 men drowned and much cattle. Seems a little like a battlefield.
A great many immigrants are gathered, preparatory to crossing. The water is too deep to ford, and the ferry charges are very high.
Crossing the river yesterday, we were so unfortunate as to have 2 men drown.
Here, we had a great deal of trouble. Swimming our cattle and our wagons to pieces, unloading and replacing our traps. A number of accidents happened here lately, and 4 children were drowned through the carelessness.
As the pioneers converged across the Platte River, for the last time they'd be leaving behind the familiar river and facing miles of barren and inhospitable travel without water and assaulted by relentless winds. For many immigrants, the arrival at Independence Rock was reason for celebration. They knew that by arriving there prior to Independence Day, they would most likely miss the early snows of winter on the mountain passes to the west.
Reached Rock Independence, an immense isolated granite rock. Customary for every traveler to enroll his name on this huge tablet.
James Clyman,
Lorenzo Stanley Wilson,
Lansford W. Hastings,
Elizabeth Keegan,
Israel Ward.
Narcissa
Drove 5 miles to Independence Rock. Camped 1 hour. A funeral in forenoon before I arrived. And after I left, a wedding took place on the rock.
A grand formation to get united on.
Took a sketch of Independence Rock. Turned a somersault on the highest place.
The alarm of attack was given. The guard firing his gun and calling for help. It was discovered that he had mistaken a mule for an Indian and had fired at it, but fortunately it missed his mark. Now there was a good deal of laughing done at his expense.
I have traveled about 4.5 months and probably 2,000 miles. Most of the way in what was supposed to be hostile Indian country. But I've not seen a single hostile Indian. All I have met are extremely friendly.
What once was a trickle of immigrants had soon become a stream. Emigrants made their way to set up farms in Oregon Territory. Mormons joined the trail as far as the Great Salt Lake. Then came the flood as tens of thousands rushed to California in pursuit of gold. The trail was transformed from a lonely path to an overcrowded highway.
Saw a colored man go into the land of gold, prompted by the hope of redeeming a wife and 7 children.
The gold excitement spread like wildfire.
Saw an Irishman and her daughter on the way for gold.
The devil seems to take full possession of 3/4 of all the
600 wagons passed today.
Oh, one man returning. Says he can't go all the way. Loves his wife more than gold.
For miles, an animated mass of beings broke upon our view. Long trains of wagons with their white covers were moving slowly along.
Both sides of the road for miles were lined with dead animals and abandoned wagons. Around them were strewn yokes, chains, harnesses, guns, tools, bedding, clothing, cooking utensils, and many other articles.
You ask, do you hear the smell? If you don't believe it, try it.
Since the white man has made a road across our land and killed our game, we are hungry, and there is nothing for us to eat. Our women and children cry for food, and we have no food to give them.
The often unbroken chain of walkers and wagons continued west to South Pass, a nearly imperceptible hill that straddles the Continental Divide. West of here, the pioneers would have a parting of the ways and head off in differing directions on differing trails to their final destination and fortune.
After getting fairly on the top level of the pass, we halted to gaze for the last time on the eastern hills and valleys of the Atlantic slope. I strained my eyes, looking abstractedly towards the eastern horizon for the familiar faces of my old acquaintances. But I was soon brought to a sense of my situation by 3 lusty cheers, given as a sort of adieu to our friends before descending into the valley of the Pacific.
And here we are in Oregon, making
It's not like any other new country.
We reached Sacramento City at noon today. I went in.
Turned round the hill to the right and came in full view of the Salt Lake.
We are at last at the end of our journey.
I could not help shouting, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah! There's my home at last.
Encouraged by reports from the new territories, more and more immigrants headed west. Now the 2 widely separated settlements of the United States needed to communicate and trade. The same routes took on a new life.
Have determined to establish a Pony Express to Sacramento, California, commencing 3rd of April. Time, 10 days.
Here he comes! Every neck is stretched further, and every eye strained wider. Away across the endless dead level of the prairie, a black speck appears against the sky.
Wells Fargo went anywhere. Did almost anything for anybody.
The western trails had become roads of commerce. Soon the sounds of hooves and footsteps plodding through the sandy soils would be replaced with new sounds. Sounds that meant the end of the trails.
We may look forward with confidence to the day when the Pacific coast will be bound to the Atlantic coast by iron bands.
6 months.
Everybody ready? Yep. I've been back and forth a time or two today, and I think it's okay. Of course, with this river, you just never know. Wagons tip over and people fall out. You know how to swim, don't you? Listen, I'm gonna go get the other wagons ready. When you're ready, pull that gate shut.
Okay. Well, okay, no.
Is
everybody know how to swim?
Sure.
I don't, so.
You ready yet?
Throw me a rope.
Pull that gate shut.
We got it. We got it.
I'm the cold water person, so I'm the one that has to promise to jump in to save everyone.
Ladies, everybody ready in there? All right, let's move on.
Michigan. No. But just...
Whoa.
Okay, see you later.
Whoa. Look at that.
So it's like, no.
As you see, the water can be dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
There's quicksand out here we can't see. Just stay down. No matter what happens, don't stand up. With all the rain, I can swim. Someone walks down the river, what's in the wagon, just keep
Oh my
sitting.
God, Max and Jackson would die over this one. Brain cells.
Wow.
7 and 10.
We spend another couple of nights on that side, who knows how long. Look, nothing's gonna happen. But if anything does, just stay in the wagon. John, you okay? Can I help you out at all?
Can you imagine riding this thing?
Coming through.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Listen, no matter what happens.
I would have never left Philadelphia.
And that's where we're from.
Never would I. He would have been the wagon master. California. I said I meant like figuratively, like in the back in the day. I would have never been one of these women take over.
And them crates, fellas. Indian horses. Glenn, you okay? Let's take it here, oh, that big gate again. You folks stay in the way.
And they said so many of the people walked because, you know,
We've been seeing it. We went to see the woods.
Just fall out of the way. Keep moving.
wow.